Wings on a trunk.
In the heart of a sun-dappled forest, the air was thick with the scent of pine and wildflowers. Amidst the towering trees and chirping birds, an unusual pair sat, one perched on the other's trunk, engaged in a lively chat. An elephant, large and wise, with massive ears that flapped in the gentle breeze, stood proudly on a patch of soft moss. Atop his trunk sat a delicate, white swan, feathers shimmering in the sunlight, her wings tucked neatly against her body. The elephant swayed slightly, adjusting his position, while the swan balanced perfectly, her head tilted in thoughtful consideration. Okay, the swan chirped, flapping her wings slightly for emphasis. So, you're telling me that you, a giant, walk around without tripping on everything in sight? Like, all those trees, bushes, rocks, and puddles, don't you ever just step on things? The elephant rolled his eyes, his trunk curling with a gentle swish. Oh, I step on plenty of things. You should see me try to navigate through the tall grass. But I'm a pro at dodging, you know? It's like my big, fancy feet are built to step around stuff. My legs are made for this. The swan flapped her wings dramatically. But you have these huge feet. They must be the size of a boat. Oh, please. They're not that big, the elephant scoffed, lifting one large foot and giving it a little wiggle. Okay, maybe they're a bit boat-sized. But they're perfect for the jungle floor. I mean, I can walk through a mud pit like it's nothing. The swan nodded, her beak clacking in amusement. Well, I suppose that's an advantage. But you know what I have? Grace. Just look at me. She flapped her wings lightly, her feathers gleaming in the sun, and floated an inch off the elephant's trunk. The elephant tilted his head, his ears flopping. Grace, huh? That's cute. But I can't imagine being all floaty and delicate. What happens when you hit a rock mid-flight? The swan paused, contemplating the question. I mean, I avoid rocks, mostly. She gave a playful shrug, then glanced down at the elephant's trunk. What's it like to have that thing? You know, your trunk? I've always wondered. It's like a long, squiggly arm. The elephant's trunk, which had been swaying idly, perked up at the question. Ah, my trunk. It's the best part of me. Not only can I reach high branches for snacks, but I can drink gallons of water, give myself a shower, and even carry things around. You, my dear swan, have nothing on my trunk. Oh, you're right about one thing, the swan said with a smirk. I could never drink a gallon of water through my nose. But I don't need to do all that, because I'm graceful in a way you'll never understand. She flapped her wings as if to emphasize her point. I glide across the pond without even a ripple. The elephant sighed dramatically, his ears flapping in mock exasperation. Okay, I get it. You float. Big deal. But can you feel the wind like I can? He gave a big, exaggerated flap of his ears, sending a gust of wind toward the swan. She fluttered in surprise but quickly regained her balance. Oh, you and your giant ears. You're probably hearing the whole forest right now, aren't you? The elephant grinned, his trunk wiggling proudly. You have no idea. I can hear the ants gossiping under the ground and the squirrels arguing over acorns. Not to mention the birds. Oh, the birds never stop talking. He leaned down toward her, his voice lowering dramatically. You'd be surprised at what I overhear. The swan giggled. Really? Ants gossip? I thought they were all business. Oh, don't be fooled, the elephant said, his trunk swaying to the rhythm of his speech. They might seem like they're all marching in straight lines, but trust me, their drama is top-notch. Last week, I overheard two of them bickering over who stole the crumbs from a picnic basket. The swan burst into laughter. Oh my goodness, that's adorable. Ant drama, now that's something I never imagined. But tell me, how do you not get tired of listening to everything? Don't your ears just get exhausted? The elephant looked down at his massive ears, then back at the swan. Exhausted? Oh no, my ears are like a radio. I can just tune them in and out. I mean, sometimes, it gets a bit noisy in here, he said, tapping his temple, but most of the time, I can turn it off and focus on the important things. Like, where I left my snack. The swan raised her eyebrows. Snack? What kind of snack does an elephant eat? You're too big for regular snacks. The elephant's eyes twinkled mischievously. Oh, you'd be surprised. I love a good fruit salad. You know, bananas, mangoes, sometimes I even eat the leaves off a tree if I'm feeling lazy. But my favorite? Mud. It's the perfect way to stay cool. Mud? The swan cocked her head. Do you actually eat the mud? How does that even work? The elephant nodded vigorously. Oh, absolutely. It's not just for rolling in, although that's fun, too. It's great for hydration, and it helps keep the bugs off me. Sometimes, it's like a nice, thick mud bath. You should try it. The swan made a face. Mud baths? Thanks, but I think I'll stick to my clean, pristine pond. I don't know how you deal with the mess. The elephant shrugged with a carefree attitude. Hey, it's nature's way of saying refresh yourself. Plus, have you ever tried a good mud mask? It's wonderful for the skin. The swan gasped dramatically. Mud masks? I've heard of facials, but this is a whole new level. She tilted her head, a sly smile playing on her beak. Okay. But tell me, what about flying? I can soar across the sky, feel the wind beneath my wings. How does that compare to your mud baths? The elephant scratched his chin with his trunk. Flying? Oh, that's definitely something I haven't tried. But you know, I don't think I'd like it. I'm much happier keeping my feet on solid ground. Who needs to fly when you've got the entire forest to roam through? The swan puffed out her chest, clearly proud of her aerial talents. Well, not to brag, but it's pretty awesome. You should try it sometime. You'd probably love it. The elephant raised an eyebrow. Me? Fly? I don't know about that. Do you know how hard it would be to land gracefully with all this bulk? The swan shook her head. Oh, you're thinking too much. It's all about control. You just have to let go and trust the wind. She spread her wings wide, the tips brushing the elephant's trunk. Like this. You just glide. The elephant blinked in surprise as her wings brushed against his trunk. Ha! Maybe I'll take your word for it. I think I'll stick to walking. But, hey, if you ever want to try the mud bath experience, you know where to find me. The swan let out a playful laugh. I think I'll pass on the mud baths, thank you very much. But I'll definitely keep that in mind. Maybe one day, I'll teach you how to glide, and you'll teach me how to, whatever it is you do with your trunk. Oh, I'm a master of the trunk, the elephant said with a mischievous grin. I can pick things up, throw things, make funny noises with it, he demonstrated by curling his trunk and giving it a dramatic honk, causing the swan to jump slightly. Wow! That was amazing, the swan exclaimed, her wings flapping excitedly. Okay, I'm impressed. You definitely have the coolest trunk ever. The elephant puffed up with pride. See? I told you. Maybe we could combine our skills, your flying and my trunk mastery. Together, we'd be unstoppable. The swan laughed, her laughter echoing in the forest. I'm in. We could be the most graceful, muddy, and magical duo the jungle has ever seen. And so, the elephant and the swan continued their lively conversation, each marveling at the unique qualities the other possessed. Perhaps they were an odd couple, but in the heart of the forest, they found common ground in their differences, sharing laughter, ideas, and dreams of adventures yet to come. With a final, shared giggle, the swan fluttered her wings and gave a playful nod to the elephant. All right, my friend, you keep your mud baths, and I'll keep my flights. But next time, I'm bringing you a feather to try on for size. The elephant laughed heartily, his trunk twirling in the air. Deal. And next time, I'll teach you how to make the perfect elephant-sized fruit salad. And just like that, the forest seemed even more magical as the two friends, one perched on the other's trunk, settled into a comfortable silence, ready for whatever whimsical adventures awaited them next.